All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers big-time game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock Purdy getting the start after Jimmy G goes down for the rest of the regular season at least and possibly into the playoffs. And I got to tell you, man, I am sold on Brock Purdy. 7th round pick, 4-year starter at Iowa State. We've seen him at times throughout this season, whether it was, that Chiefs game, whether it was preseason. We've seen him a handful of times, and to be quite honest with you, I think the best word to describe Brock is he's just composed. He's composed and he's comfortable, and you can tell he can lead a team, man. All game against Miami, when Jimmy G went down, we were hearing, oh man, can you imagine what Brock's going through? Can you imagine what Brock's going through? Like, his mind must be racing. Man, the second Trey Lance went down, but even before that, man, the second he got drafted, the last pick in the draft this past year, he's been licking his chops at an opportunity like this. This guy's in the NFL for a reason. This is a 4-year starter we're talking about. He's experienced high-level, high-leverage games. He's made throws when he's needed to make throws. He's won big-time games. He's lost big-time games. He has so much experience. I think genuinely, whether it's college basketball, whether it's college football, I think when we talk about these guys who are 4-year starters at their respected university, I think that often goes overlooked. And we really saw it in that game against Miami, and it's a huge reason why I think that they'll beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I see worst case scenario last 5 games, 3-2. San Francisco right now, what sucks is you have Philadelphia and you have Minnesota, right? I do think Minnesota will falter a little bit. Philadelphia, though, they're a really talented team. My point is, it's going to be hard for San Francisco to get that first seed, right? They need a lot of things to go right, or I guess wrong for other teams. So right for themselves, wrong for other teams like Philadelphia, Minnesota. But my point is, this is the best defense in the NFL, all right? And I thought Brock Purdy looked phenomenal. He's going to make mistakes. First off, every quarterback is going to make mistakes. But he has Kyle Shanahan, he has George Kittle, he has CMC, who is not only a phenomenal runner, but he's also one of, if not the best pass-catching running back in the entire National Football League. You have Deebo Samuel. You have so many threats on the offensive end that if you can just limit your mistakes, and make the right play, make plays, you'll be just fine, man. Before we get any further into this video, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, hit that sub button. I post daily NFL content. If you guys want more Niners content, let me know. I'm probably just going to post it regardless, though, because this is such an enticing team. And I got to tell you, as a cheesehead, as a Green Bay Packer fan, San Francisco is always that team that they always dismantle us. Whether it's regular season, whether it's the playoffs, they just always dismantle us. It's a very impressive franchise. Ever since the day I was born, or that's I guess a little absurd, ever since the day I started watching football and following and supporting the Green Bay Packers, San Francisco's just had their number. So let's try and get this video to 200 likes. If you guys enjoy it, stay tuned for a recap video against Tampa Bay afterwards. Now, Tampa's getting, what's tough is they're 6-6. Whenever you have Tom Brady, you have a fighting chance. Their defense is really good, but they just had a last-second victory against the New Orleans Saints, and I got to be frank with you guys. The New Orleans Saints, to me, are one of the worst teams in the NFL, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt. This is a different Bucs team than we've seen in recent years, and I got to tell you, defensively speaking, like I said, not only to me are they the number one defense in the NFL, but just statistically, they're the number one defense in the NFL. They're giving up less than 16 points a game. The year's about to be 2023. It's crazy that they're giving up 15.8 points per game. I mean, it truly is baffling. That defense, though, they've had some run-ins. Gave up 44 to Kansas City just a little over a month ago. They've gotten healthy. They've figured it out. They've limited big-time plays. They have everything you need on the defensive end. All it comes down to headed into the playoffs is building momentum, specifically with your offense because of Brock Purdy and just your team in general, but staying healthy. That's really what it's going to boil down to for San Francisco, is just staying healthy and picking up momentum at the right time. I really like the story with Brock. I like that he's kind of coming into this game, coming into the rest of the season with a chip on his shoulder. Like I said, in that game against Miami, all the announcers were saying, all I was hearing was, man, can you imagine what he's going through right now? When he takes down several-time MVP, several-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady less than 24 hours from now, the NFL world's going to lose its mind. But I'll tell you, San Francisco 49er fans, they really know their football. They love their football. And they are, like, no one's stressing. No Niners fans are stressing right now with Brock Purdy being their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. And I got to say, like, the film doesn't lie. It really doesn't. You could even go back to the college film, and that especially doesn't lie. But that game against Miami, we saw it even a little bit, like I alluded to earlier on in the video. We saw a little bit in preseason. We saw a little bit against Kansas City when Jimmy got injured temporarily. We've seen it at times, but Miami truly was the game. That was a phenomenal game. You got to keep in mind, man, Miami 8-4. This is a team that, I mean, now it might be a little bit different, but this is I don't know if Super Bowl contender. Headed into this game, they were definitely Super Bowl contenders. I view them as like legitimate contenders. I have my concerns with Miami. I think they're at least a year away, to be quite honest with you. But, they're a talented football team. Brock Purdy on the day, 25 completions, 37 attempts, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Like I said, man, all he has to do is limit mistakes, limit those interceptions, because it's going to happen. It's just genuinely going to happen. He still finished with a rating of 88.8. And I think generally one of the most slept on things is, first off, like, your defense is going to keep you in every football game you play. But I think one of the most underrated things is, and I'd still feel good about Brock Purdy, and I'd still feel good about San Francisco because of their defense. They're well coached, they're well disciplined, they're just everything positive. They're just a good franchise. But CMC, man, he was the difference maker when they traded for him around the deadline, right? He's even more so a difference maker now. He's such a good just check down receiver. We saw it so much. Brock and him, this past week against Miami, 8 receptions, 80 yards, a touchdown. I mean, it's going to be fun. I really think it's going to be fun. It's just a little chip on your shoulder. Everyone's kind of counting you out because you got your, third string quarterback in. Guy who almost went undrafted. The storyline is there. So I'm excited to see how this team does for the rest of the season. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit that sub button. Let's try and get this video to 200 likes. If you want more Niners content, show some love down below. Be sure to hit that sub button. But most importantly, guys, I want to hear your thoughts, whether that Miami game's happened or not, the Tampa game, because Tampa's going to lose, San Francisco's going to win. Regardless of the outcome of that game or if it's happened yet, I want to hear your thoughts on Brock Purdy for the rest of the season. Peace.